Hello and welcome to week 33 of Zen Mama. So we're going to start to think about some breathing techniques. We're going to work on a very specific breathing technique so you can get a little bit of practice in before your birthing day. It's the breathing technique that we would do into our contractions when we're in labour. Now, it's a good idea to start rehearsing these sooner rather than later. You might have another 10 weeks or so to go before you give birth. You may not, because the birthing period is between 37 weeks and 42. So it is a good idea to start practicing. Not only that, but these breathing techniques are actually really good for anxiety. And at week 33, we can tend to have a bit of anxiety. Life's changing quite a lot. We don't quite know what to expect from the next few months, and perhaps not sleeping so well, lots of hormones buzzing around in the body. You may just find that you're crying a little bit more than you normally would. It's very normal. Pregnancy is a bit of a roller coaster. All right, so these breathing techniques are actually really helpful with calming down the nervous system and giving us that nice boost of endorphins, which helps us feel better. So super good. Right, I'm gonna, this is Lily. So Lily's going to be helping us out today. And Lily is 33 weeks pregnant, so pretty ideal to be doing, time to be doing this too. So we're gonna take you through together. So I'm gonna spend a couple of minutes, if that's all right, just telling you why we do these breathing techniques, because for me it's important that you understand the processes so that you actually do them and you practice them and they really work for you during your pregnancy but on your birthing day itself. All right, so when we are in labour, our muscles, our uterus muscles work, right? So we know that. All right, let me just demonstrate to you how. I'm going to just come up to kneeling and I'm going to show you how the kind of muscle system works in the uterus. So here is our uterus muscle, yeah? So obviously entirely around our baby. We have the kind of inside muscle layer, all right? So the one inside, there's 3 different muscle layers. This is the inner one. Circular muscle fibers. So the muscle fibers go around in a circular direction, all right? So these muscle fibers go all the way around your baby, 360 degrees. Down here at the base, then yes, there's a hole, yeah? So there's a hole, and this hole obviously is the cervix, all right? Now, what this hole needs to do, as you know in labour, is get open to around about 9, 10, 11 centimetres, that kind of place. So how does it do it? So these are the circular muscle fibres. Funny enough, these muscle fibres are really thick down here, and the reason for that is because you want to hold your baby in at the moment, all right? So they're nice and thick. And then over the top, the outer layer is longitudinal muscle fibres, all right? So all the way around, 360 degrees, longitudinal muscle fibres. So circular inside, longitudinal on the outside. And then we have a muscle layer in between that just knots the two together. Now, what labour is, and all labour is just a muscle working. It is nothing more scary than that. It is nothing more freaky than that. It is just a muscle working. How it works is these longitudinal muscles that go all the way around like this, they pull the circular muscle fibres here, down here at the base, and then they release, all right? So all the way around, 360 degrees, they're pulling, and they release. Now, it is this pulling motion around these thick circular muscle fibers down here. It's this pulling motion that means that these muscle fibers, as they're being pulled, then they start to thin. So these muscle fibers are thinning, and as these muscle fibers are thinning, then if you can imagine your cervix is made out of a bit of blue tack, all right? As these muscle fibers thin, that is what causes the opening of the cervix, yeah? Simples, all right? Now, I'm not saying it's easy because it is muscle activity, and muscle activity can be challenging in the same way that if we do some muscular activity in a sporting way, or we do a run, or we do some yoga and things like that, we like to challenge our muscles. And that's why birthing and yoga go so well together, because essentially we're working with deep inner muscles and we're learning how to kind of ride the wave of the challenge that those muscles give us, all right? So we're going to do that with our breath, okay? So this is the motion here, pull, release, and this is when you feel all the tightening around the base of the uterus during labour, all right? Now, we don't call that, or I don't call that contractions, I call it surges, because it does feel like your muscle is surging as opposed to contracting. It feels like a surge of muscle. And if you like, if you're that way inclined, perhaps a bit of a creative spirit and soul, then you could even think of that muscle as a wave. So like a wave of muscle. All right, now we know that it doesn't just in birthing go full pelt into it. It does warm-ups. Normal birth takes anywhere between kind of 12 and 18 hours, a nice amount of time to warm up all the muscles before it gets quite meaningful towards the end. All right, now I'm going to show you this breath that we're going to use. I call it balloon breathing. All right, it will become obvious why in a moment. I'm going to get my block. I'm going to give Lily a block as well. Here you go, Lily. Lovely. So it's nice if we can keep our hips a little bit higher than our knees. And then obviously it's good for the spacing of the baby, nice for positioning, but also it's really good to just, create a little bit of space while we're practicing this breath. So if you want to, Lily, just put your block down towards the back of your mat there. And we're going to come to sit on it in a cross-legged position. Good. So when you're on your block, you want it to obviously be nice and comfortable. If a block doesn't feel good, you don't have to use it. Use a blanket, a yoga blanket, or use a pillow or something like that. But blocks are quite nice, I think. So they're quite supportive, aren't they? They feel quite nice on the back. So we're just going to move forwards ever so slightly, and our knees are just going to rest down as far as they want to. That feels comfortable for us, because that just supports the back, our back. All right. Now from here, if we're practicing this muscle technique, if we're practicing this breathing technique, which we are today, it's quite nice to kind of guide yourself when you're first learning it. So please pop your hands onto your belly. So just popping your hands onto your belly. Now the idea is that we breathe directly into the abdomen, all right? So you might think, well, that's crazy because we breathe into our lungs. Well, yes, we do, but we can focus the breath and we can really breathe it into this area. And this is why I call it balloon breathing, because balloon breathing is kind of like inflating an inner balloon and then kind of deflating it, all right? So I'll show you what we mean, all right? So we're going to put our hands on our belly here. We're going to make sure our shoulders are nice and relaxed. Now, we don't want too much air coming up into the chest, just focusing on the belly. So settling down first of all. And then when you're ready, we start to just breathe into the abdomen. So if you can see, a nice deep breath in. And then a nice, long, slow breath out. So if you watch my fingers, you can see them just very gently separating as I breathe in. And breathing out. So it helps me to imagine I'm inflating an inner balloon. One more, breathing in to this big inner balloon to the highest possible height. Don't squeeze it, nice and relaxed still, and then a nice slow breath back out. Good. Relax the hands down a little. All right, good. So we're going to practice that throughout our yoga practice today. All right, so we're going to start with these nice breaths, and then we're going to move through some nice, really nice movements for pelvic girdle pain, because you need that at the moment. But these are also really nice, relaxing breaths for anxiety as well, which you might need. And also it's nice birth preparation for later on. So you can kind of start getting into the groove with it. Now, just a couple of things before we start that are really important. Yeah, so this breathing technique is doing a few things, and I need to tell you what they're doing and why. All right, so when you breathe into your belly, what you are doing is you are working with the upward movement of those muscles that I described earlier. So this longitudinal muscle fibers that are pulling, they do kind of rise as they pull. And what you're doing is you're breathing into that motion, you're breathing into that feeling. So your body is working with you, which is really good and feels really nice. All right, so good reason, number one. Number two, when you're doing this big belly breathing, balloon breathing, what you're doing is you are increasing oxygen at the very place that needs it. So it's a fact, and it's something that kind of Olympians and sports people use. If you breathe to particular muscles, obviously those muscle cells have oxygen in them, and you're going to be increasing the oxygen in those muscle cells, all right? If you really focus and breathe into that uterus, all right? So you are increasing the fuel of the muscle. And we really want to do that during your birthing, because we want to make the uterus muscle as productive as it can possibly be, all right? And we're giving it that fuel, that oxygen to do it. Number 3, we are also sending oxygen to our baby. So during our birthing, we want obviously to send as much oxygen to our baby as possible, because it can be a little bit tricky for the baby, slightly traumatizing trying to be birthed. So if we can keep that heart level nice and just safe and, you know, as regular as possible, it helps. And you'll probably experience when you're practicing this breath, like Lily and I were talking about earlier, your baby will start moving around a little bit more inside your belly. You've experienced that, haven't you? Yeah, because the baby enjoys the oxygen, and they kind of wake up a little bit and they start moving around, all right? So please don't worry if that doesn't happen to you, all right? It doesn't always happen, but you may find that, all right? So we're really increasing oxygen levels to our baby. Number 4, this is a brilliant distraction mechanism. All right, so what the midwives will say to you is, when it gets to a point where your contractions, you can't walk or talk through them, that's the time to come to the hospital. And I know from personal experience, when I was told that, that kind of scared me. It made me think, what does that mean when they get so bad you can't walk or talk through them? Well, what it means is you need to just zone out from what's going on around you and zone in. And what they don't tell you, which I wish they would, is actually to give you a technique to zone into. So that's what we're doing at Zen Mama. We're giving you these techniques, and this belly breathing is a brilliant distraction mechanism. So there's a couple of things that you can do, all right? Number 1, if you're more of a kind of logical thinker, counting is a good option, all right? So it might be that you count into your breath, in which case it's a fast count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, might get to about there, and then an equally long, slow breath back out. And then you do it again in your mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the joy is, once you've done that, you've counted from 0 to 16, 17, 18, wherever you get to, 4 times, you've done a surge. You've done that contraction, done. And you never have to do it again, all right? So you're getting closer and closer all the time. If you're somebody who perhaps isn't so kind of logical, or is, let's say, a little bit more creative thinker, then what you might want to do when you're doing these breathing techniques is to really tap into some kind of imaginative space, all right? So this is what we call the happy space in hypnotherapy and hypnobirthing and things like that. But it's really useful, you know, like who wants to be in a hospital corridor when you can close your eyes and be on a beach in Thailand? All right, so this is what we can do for ourselves. All right, so what I might do if I was more that way inclined is I might, with my hands on my belly and closing my eyes, I might imagine, and for me it probably would be this amazing beach in Thailand, and my legs would be half in and out of the water, and as I'm breathing into my belly, I'd be breathing into, for me, a big purple balloon, and then as I breathe it out and I breathe it down, I breathe it out of my vagina, and it's going up into the air and up into the sky in front of me, and I can see those balloons, and I can see them all disappearing like one at a time on the horizon, like those lovely Chinese lanterns, and you can kind of see them all disappear. And then after you've done about 4 or 5 of them, they're going to stop, all right? And then in between the contractions, you soften the body back to relaxation breathing. You take a moment so you're ready to blow up the next lot of balloons. All right, so we're going to either during this practice think about the count, or take yourself to your own image of this place where you're perhaps blowing some balloons up into the sky, or whatever you decide that you want to do in your own imagination. All right, so let's begin. You all right? Okay, cool. All right, so chest is lifted, shoulders are relaxed, and we're just going to tap into this breath. All right, so bring your hands to your belly. So we're going to practice this breathing technique when you're ready. Breathing into your belly, inflating it like an inner balloon. And an equally long, slow breath back out. Good. Breathing into your belly like an inner balloon. Now, if my breathing cues aren't quite the same as yours, don't worry, go off on your own pattern. But just make these breaths as big and as filled with your belly as possible. Going to do a couple more. Breathing into the belly, filling it like an inner balloon. An equally long, slow breath back out. Wonderful, last one. Good, now as if we were in labour, we've just done that contraction, so we soften the hands down the legs and we soften the body. So we're just coming back to this relaxation, kind of sleep breathing, where the body is just nice and soft. The forehead is soft, the cheeks are soft, the jaw is soft, shoulders, all the way down to the hands, the fingers, all the way down the body to the legs, the feet. Just nice and soft. Good. So we're going to practice the slow breathing, the balloon breathing one more time. This time maybe you want to use the count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or it might be that you want to take yourself, just close your eyes and take yourself to some lovely place that you know really well, on top of a mountain, on a beach, side of a lake, or it might just be in your garden. But really be there if you're there and see your balloons as you breathe them up. All right, so bring your hands back to your belly. So 4 of these big breaths. Breathing into your belly. Equally long, slow breath back out. Good, couple more. Really focusing on the belly, keeping them smooth though, don't squeeze them. And again. Good, last one, lovely calming breaths. Good, well done. Sliding the hands down, drop the chin down to the chest, and we're just going to have a little stretch of the neck. So just take the jaw over to the right shoulder, so you just get a nice little stretch down the neck, the trapezius. Keep your jaw really soft. Remember, it's nice again for if you are feeling tense, relaxing the jaw can be really helpful. But definitely in birthing, you want a nice loose jaw as well. Good, and then moving the chin over to the left shoulder so you get a nice stretch in the opposite direction. Good. A couple of nice breaths here, nice relaxing breaths. This is a nice relaxing class today. Good, bring the chin back down towards the chest. And then let's just do a couple of nice circles with the nose. So breathing the nose round to the right. Nice big circle up with the nose, up to the sky. And then down the other side. Good, one more with your breath. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down, and when you get down to the bottom this time, in the other way, other direction. Breathing in up to the left. Round and down, keep the jaw nice and soft. Good, one more. Good. because we're practicing this breathing technique today, just softly looking forward, bring your hands back to your belly, and let's do 4 more of these nice balloon breathing. Breathing into your belly, inflating it like an inner balloon. And an equally long, slow breath back out. So again, use your count or use your imagination. Really be here. Be mindful, be present in your pregnancy and birth. So when you're actually in labour, this is a really good thing to do when you're sitting on your ball, on your birthing ball, because you can really feel this breath. Such a good distraction mechanism, really gives you something to do during your contractions. Nice and calming, 1 more breath. Good, soften the body back down again, blink open the eyes, and we're just going to move around. So we're going to come around onto all 4s. Be careful as you move off your block. Keep your knees relatively together, nice and safely. Good, we're going to take the block just off to the side. Good. All right. Good. All right, so from here, we're going to do a little bit of the shaking of the maraca. So just a little bit from side to side. So we know that this is an absolutely brilliant exercise for the pelvis, particularly around week 33, because you're just having your kind of main growth period from 28 to kind of 32, 33 weeks. So you're probably feeling it a little bit at the moment. So this is really good for your pelvic girdle pain. But as we know as well, this is good for birthing, this position. So it's nice to have a good practice of it. Use the shoulders as well if you want to. Just keep the body really soft. Does that feel all right, Lily? Right. Good, good, good. All right. And then we're going to stop. We're going to practice this breathing in a different position. Yeah. So just come to nice all 4s and nice flat back. Just keep the tailbone slightly tucked under, chest. Yeah, that's it. Back nice and flat. Good. That's it, Lily. Just flattening a little bit more there. Perfect. Good. All right. And from there, we're going to you do this breathing technique again. All right. So breathing into the belly, expanding like an inner balloon. And as you breathe out, just very gently hugging your baby towards you. So again, good breathing technique to keep you nice and calm. Really good for boosting endorphins, which is what we want to do, to give not just us a nice hit of endorphins, but also our babies as well. Couple more breaths here. But this is also really good for the tummy muscles, to build that elasticity into them so that hopefully they ping back a little bit more after birthing. 1 more breath. Good. We're just going to do a few cat tilts. So take a deep breath in here. As you breathe out, just tucking the tailbone under, pushing into the hands, giving yourself a nice cat. And then as you breathe in, coming back to nice flat back again. So remember, we don't arch the other direction in pregnancy. It's not so good for us. As you breathe out, pushing into cat, tucking tailbone under. Again, wonderful for pelvic girdle pain. Also a nice position in birthing to help any backache. Good, keep going. Couple more. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy that stretch through the lower back, mid-back, the QLs that are really overworking for you at the moment. Good. And we're going to do 1 more time. Good. Flat back. And then to take a little bit of pressure off of our wrist, we're just going to come down onto forearms. And we're going to practice this breathing here as well. All right, so here, have the knees a little wider, bring the toes in together, and we're just going to breathe into the belly. All right, so again, as we were doing before, breathing into your balloon. And as you breathe out very gently, baby comes towards you. Good, really good for the gentle elasticity of the tummy muscles. Also really practicing for labour, pretending we're breathing into those contractions. Couple more. Good, one last time. Good, just gently coming back up onto all fours. And we're going to do just a couple more nice of these kind of birthing movements, all right? So from here, we're going to take the hips round and we're going to bring the right hip to the right rib. And then we're going to take the bottom all the way down to the right heel, the left heel, and then bring it up, hitch the left hip to the left rib. Good. All right, down we go again, round. Good, nice, slow, mindful movements. Really good for any pelvic girdle pain, but also really nice practice for labour positions for birthing. Wonderful. This time we're going to go down and then we're going to go all the way around in a circle. Good. Breathing out, down and round, breathing in, up. Good, one more time. Up to the top and round in the other direction. You feel a nice stretch. Feel a good stretch, Lily? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Good. Good, one more. Good. Coming back to all fours. Practice the breathing again. Breathing into the belly, inflating like an inner balloon. As you breathe out, just hugging the belly towards you ever so softly. So remember, you can use your count if you want to, or you can take yourself into this lovely image and watch your balloons off into the blue sky or the sunset. Good, couple more. Last one. Good, so let's try a little lunge. So we're going to bring the right foot outside of the right hand. And then from here, we're just going to have a little lunge backwards and forwards. So again, nice in pregnancy, really opening up around the pelvic girdle. If you're suffering from any SPD or PSD, so pubic symphysis disorder, where you're getting shooting pains here, then keep the foot in while you do this, all right? Make sure it doesn't feel uncomfortable. If your bump's a bit big to do that, then you can take the foot out a little bit further, but be very careful to keep the feet and the legs facing forwards. If you're not getting any pains in the groin, then you're fine to take that foot out nice and wide. Really stretch in and out of it. Good, couple more. Last one. Take the right leg back this time. And we're going to take the left foot forwards and do the other direction. Good, breathing in forwards, breathing out back. That's good, Lily, brilliant. In forwards and out back. Good. Just a couple more. Good, last one. Good. Take the left leg back, flatten the hands down, open the knees really wide, bring your toes together, and let's take a nice child's pose stretch. So bringing your bottom down to your heels, and then seeing where feels comfortable for you. Coming down to the mat as much as you can. If you find that you can still come all the way down, you can rest your head on the mat. If you find that that's too challenging, then you could rest your head onto your fists in this way. Or if it felt more comfortable for you, you can cup just underneath the chin. But make sure that this is a really softening posture. Child's pose. It should be a nice grounding posture. Good. And then wherever you're at, we're going to do a little bit of our balloon breathing again. So focus on the belly, breathing in, expanding like an inner balloon. And a nice equally long, slow breath back out. Good, couple more. Nice loose jaw, loose forehead, soft hands. Last breath into the belly, nice expansion. Good, you're probably feeling really calm now with these relaxing breaths. We're going to bring the hands back towards the shoulders and we're going to push into them so we come up nice and safely with a nice flat back. Good. We're going to come onto all fours, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Good. We're going to rock backwards and forwards and we're going to come up to standing. So tucking the toes under, breathing in forwards, breathing out back. Breathing in forwards, breathing out back, breathing in forwards. And this time we're going to walk the hands back towards the knees. We're going to come to a squat. We're going to walk our hands up our legs and come to a stand. Good. All right? Good. All right. So we're going to do just a little bit of camel before we come to our relaxation. The focus on today's class is obviously on this balloon birth breathing. So we're going to practice it in a standing position because you may well be in a standing position during your labour. It's a very good position to be in because gravity is helping out and it's the tailbone is just tipped a little bit under, so we've got a nice positioning for the pelvis. So our feet's going to be a little bit wider. Good. So let's have a little practice of that first of all. So hands onto the belly. All right, let's have 4 more of these breaths. So just breathing into the belly, inflating like an inner balloon. Breathing out, belly gently towards you, just softening. Good. So wherever you are, whether you're walking through hospital car parks or corridors, down your garden path, whether you're in the bathroom and you have a contraction, this is what you do. You stop, you breathe into your belly, inflating it like an inner balloon, and just breathing out and softening. Nice, long, slow, calming breaths. Of course, you don't have to have your hands on your belly. This is just while we're learning this breath, so you can feel your breath coming into your hands. Good. We're going to release the hands and maybe open the eyes, which is what you would do if you're in labour. You kind of come back into the room when you've finished your contraction. And we're just going to move our hips very gently from side to side. So just doing some nice hip movements. Again, very helpful during labour, but nice for pelvic girdle pain as well. Very gentle, just rocking from side to side. Keep the body nice and soft. Good. And then from here, we're going to do a few circles with the pelvis. So we're going to bring the pelvis forwards and then bring it round in a nice big circle and forwards. Good. So just reaching round. Good. So feel that nice stretch into the right hip, back, left, and then push up tall. Remember not to arch the back when you come into this position. Don't arch the back, just keep it nice and long. Good. Round in the other direction. So nice movements for the pelvis. And as I say, also good for birthing. 1 more in each direction. Good. And then just coming back to another little rock, just from side to side. So shaking the maraca, maybe in a standing position. Good. We're going to stop. We're going to practice 4 more of our breaths. Chest lifted, shoulders relaxed. Close your eyes, zone into your count or into your balloons, and when you're ready, off you go. So wherever you are, when you're having your contractions, this is what you do. Just focus and breathe. One last time. Remember, every single surge is bringing you closer to meeting your baby. Every single one. Good, all right. Blinking open the eyes, let's do a little rolling of the camel. So again, really nice at week 33 for pelvic girdle pain, but again, great for birthing. All right, so from here, we're going to just bend the knees, and it's as if we're sitting on that stool behind us. So with our bottoms just reaching out towards it, and then as you breathe in, tucking the pelvis under, pushing into the feet, lengthening straight through the body. Good. As you breathe out, bend the knees down. Breathing in, push through the feet, lengthen. Great. Couple more. Good. Breathing in up, breathing out down. Good. Keep going. This is called the camel rolls. Not really sure what kind of noise a camel would make, but it kind of feels like it would make a good kind of move on the way down. Maybe that's what the birthing sounds are, who knows? Good, couple more. Well done, last one. Make it a really good stretch. Good, pushing into the feet, lengthen through the sides. And we're going to finish standing with 4 more of our nice balloon breaths. Shoulders are relaxed, jaw is soft. Breathing into the belly, expanding it like an inner balloon. Equally long, slow breath back out. Good, couple more. Body is soft and calm. Last one. Good. So by now, just through doing those minutes of that class and all of that breathing, you probably will be feeling very relaxed. So let's make the most out of that and let's have a rest. We talked a little bit earlier about, sleep solutions and how it might be more challenging to sleep now you're 33 weeks. Doing this relaxation and doing Shavasana, just for, if you can manage, 5 minutes is good, but 15 or 20 minutes is really great for the body to repair, really good for endorphin flow. And if you find that you're having trouble sleeping at night and you wake up, then just come to Shavasana. Try not to panic about not sleeping, just really rest the body. It's as good as. All right, so we're going to come down nice and safely. Lily, you stay there for a moment. I'm going to get you a cushion so you can use it for your head. All right, so we're going to pop this down here for you. All right, you've got your block there as well that you can use in between your legs. So we're going to come to the end of our mat and we're going to come down nice and safely. So just a little wobble as we come down. Good. And then just lying on your left side. That's it. So just using your hands to guide yourself down rather than your tummy muscles. Great. And then Lily can use the block if she wants to between the knees. that feel okay?
Lovely.
Yeah. If you want to, we'll just demonstrate another way of doing this if you prefer. You're just going to straighten the lower leg. So straighten the lower leg out, and we're going to pop the block under here instead. Which one of those do you prefer?
That's nice, actually.
That one? Okay, good. All right, so Lily's just going to have a nice relax now. All right, and please get yourself nice and comfortable. If you want to get yourself some socks or a little blanket or something like that, then feel free. So it's time to just spend the last couple of minutes of our practice, and it's really important when you've done a yoga practice, however soft, to just do some shavasana at the end. Usually it's a time when we can just come to our mat and just enjoy our space before we kind of get on with the busyness of our day. And because we've been moving around, and even in a very gentle way like we have done today, then the circulation obviously is going around your body. So this is a nice opportunity now to let all that circulation really work into every cell of the body, and just bringing that lovely oxygen and nutrients and endorphins and feel-good hormones. All right, so just gently relax your body. Good. So this is nice relaxation breathing, sleep breathing. We're going to practice now. And sleep breathing or relaxation breathing is all about letting the muscles go. Let them relax. And we can do that progressively, just working through the muscles. So maybe starting at the forehead and just really relaxing the forehead. Letting all the tension disappear, just smoothing out all the lines. Nice soft forehead. Down across the cheeks, into the jaw. You feel the teeth just very gently part as the jaw relaxes, allowing the kind of tongue to spread in the mouth. Allowing this relaxation to drift down your shoulders, upper arms, across the elbows down to the lower arms. To the hands and the fingers, soft. Allowing the relaxation down through your chest, your upper back, your belly, being aware of your baby. Down across your pelvis, buttocks. Let that relaxation drift down your thighs, across your knees, lower legs, ankles, all the way down into your feet and your toes. Just like that nice soft blanket of relaxation. So once you let all your muscles relax in this way, this is pretty much as good as sleep. Allowing the body to just repair, allowing endorphins to flow around. So this relaxation breathing is not just good for now, it's also good on our Labour Day as well. We want the body to feel just like a rag doll. Because the uterus muscle is a muscle, and we want it to get as much oxygen as possible. So the more we can relax the rest of the body, the less oxygen is going to be sent to the muscles of the arms or the shoulders. And the more relaxed the body is, the more oxygen is going to be in the uterus muscle, and that's what we want, for the uterus muscle to be really productive with the fuel of the muscle, which is oxygen. And then when you're ready, tuning into your belly again, practicing the balloon breaths, breathing into the belly, floating like that in a balloon, and an equally long, slow breath back out. Good, 3 more. Last one. Good, and softening the body back to relaxation, sleep breathing. The breathing that you can do in between the contractions. Keeping you in this nice, calm, controlled environment. Endorphins flowing, oxytocin flowing. This balloon breathing means better birthing. So if you have time, you might choose to stay here in this nice comfortable place and just continue with your relaxation. If, like Lily and I, you have to get on with your day, you're going to start to become a little bit more aware of the room around you now. Be aware of the light in the room, be aware of any sounds. You're going to start breathing into the chest a little bit more dynamically, so it just sends oxygen around the body, waking it up nice and slowly. When that oxygen feels like it's reaching your fingers and your toes, give them a little wiggle. And when you're ready, gently letting a little chink of light into the eyes. From here, we might have a little stretch, a little yawn. We're going to let the block go. And we're going to lengthen the lower leg, and we're going to bend the upper leg, and we're going to come back up onto all fours and just have a little shake of the maraca on the way. Always remembering to just shake the maraca as you come out of a nap position or in the morning when you wake up, just to get the pelvis really moving, alleviating any stiffness. Good. And then when you're ready, perhaps you might come back to the sitting position, with Lily just facing us and facing me. Your chest is lifted, your shoulders are relaxed. Good, and 3 breaths before you move on. Breathing in together, breathing out. Breathing in together, breathing out, breathing in together, breathing out, breathing in together, breathing out, and then just bringing your hands together at your heart center, and namaste. Namaste, namaste. Thank you, Lily, and namaste to you. We hope you enjoyed the class. Remember to stay Zen, Mama.